Welcome to the Goon Squad's first 40 right here on YouTube. Hey, hit like, subscribe, share this show. Make sure you watch the entire show as well as our overtime and bonus material that we talk on subjects before the show that could be sports related, could not be sports related. You have to tune in and check it out. How you doing there, Black Door?
Hey, man. Always good, baby. Always good. How you feeling?
I know you're feeling good after this weekend of football. I took a beating.
I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, I know you're
going to say anything.
I know you're going to say something. But
well, I'll just say this.
I need the Ravens to win tonight. I need the Ravens to win. Oh, I need the Ravens to win tonight.
If you force me to say something, all I'm saying is right now, sometimes you got to look at a bigger prize. There's a bigger fish to catch. And I may not get your dad, but I'll be damned if I ain't shooting for ice water. I ain't afraid to say it. Ain't that many weeks left. But we're coming, baby.
Ice water. How you doing, man?
I'm outstanding, man. I'm kind of feeling like you wearing that Carolina blue right now. I know why you wearing it. You feeling real good. You feeling real good. So guess what?
Whipping out the games.
hey, I feel pretty good too. So Black Thor, I'm glad you got your mojo back, bruh. You know what? I'm glad. Because there's nothing like great competition. So I'm glad you got your mojo back. But guess what? Guess what? Did you check the standings yet?
Oh, bro, I'm just saying.
Look, you still behind, right?
You got 3 weeks, baby.
You still behind, right?
Fire.
Can you answer that question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I appreciate it.
But not for long.
You know what?
But try. I'm gonna try. I'm not making no guarantee.
Okay.
I'm gonna try though.
Here
we go. Here we go.
They're chasing it.
There you go. All right.
Yeah. They're chasing it.
Good. Hey, you know what? I'm glad you finally put it out. About 12 weeks too late, but we'll appreciate it.
All right, let's get into our eye test from last week's game. I'm going to start with you, Ice. Who were the players, the teams, or the games that stood out for you?
I mean, so much going on, and you just don't know. But I'll say this. I'm going to start with Denver, man. And the last few weeks, Drew Lock and Denver, they have played great football, found ways to win. I mean, the win over Carolina recently, 32-27, they find a way. It's ugly. You look at Melvin Gordon, you look at Philip Lindsay, the defense is kind of missing some guys, but they find a way to win. And I'm not saying it's gonna really help them this year, but I think if they kind of come back around and do some solid things that for the future, they're going to be okay. The next one would have to be Arizona, man. Arizona 26-7 over the Giants. And all I'm gonna just say, I'm not gonna say a lot about this game, but I mentioned to you before, Daniel Jones coming back. Should have left
that was bad.
You should have left the Butler in.
Yeah.
AKA Colt McCoy. You should have left the Butler in the game. The Butler won 2 in a row. Then all of a sudden you changing things up and you kind of see the results. And DeAndre Hopkins had a stellar day with 9 catches, 136 yards. Definitely outstanding like that. And my last push, and leave everything else to you guys. I said it before and I'm going to say it again. I just like the overall approach of the Washington football team. I do. In the way that they're going about their business. And Chase Young is worth all of the money that they had to invest in the draft pick in himself. He is a difference maker. I thought he was in college, but it's something about a guy that kind of gets it rolling and pushing it and it kind of hypes other people up. And I like their team camaraderie. Say what you want to. Ron Rivera has some things going well over there, even to the point of you have a guy like Dwayne Haskins, man, having to learn, had to come in, do a little mop-up duty, but he's glad to be there, and that's part of learning. Sometimes you just can't jump off the page and be the greatest player when you're a rookie, but then you have to learn, and you need time to learn, and maybe that's what it is. Not sure what's going to happen, but Ron Rivera appears to have this team at least going up instead of has been going down for years with this franchise, even after a name change.
Yeah, Jack Del Rio is the defensive coordinator on that team, and him and Ron Rivera have some experience playing some defense. So they got that defense rolling. If they can get that offense rolling, they will be the kings of that division. And also, they're in first place now because the Giants dropped the ball yesterday against the Arizona Cardinals. Black, give me your eye test, man.
I'm going to piggyback on something I said real quick, man. I'm hoping that in the offseason, either Urban Myers or somebody gets to Haskins and let him know what time it is. And he got to go to work, bro, because he has a good opportunity in front of him. I kind of thought they forgot about him. And when they kind of pulled him back yesterday and they gave him a chance, they want him to succeed, but he got to get it done. There's no more excuses. He's got to grow up real fast, really, in this offseason. He's got a lot to prove. And I'm hoping that somebody gets in his ear and kind of mentor him and say, you know what, knock it off, man. You ain't done nothing yet, and get it done, because that could be his team, bro. And how good would that be to be in Washington D.C., Chocolate City, getting it done? There's a lot of young teams, man. I mean, I touched on Denver. I'm going to go to Miami, even though they lost yesterday. Miami they put up a battle. They're coming. Miami's definitely coming. Look at some of these other teams that are rolling, like you said about Denver. They're coming along. The Raiders are still what we kind of thought they were. After all the money's been spent, everything's been done, the Raiders are exactly what we thought they were. And it's amazing sometimes, man, that you can make, we've seen it in this season and other seasons as well. You can change the coach and the team's fortune just automatically gets better. You can change the quarterback like the Eagles did.
Yeah.
And the team just rallied. I don't care. I mean, it's crazy that the money they owe Carson Wentz, but they got to get rid of him, bro. There's no way now you can bring him back on the field, because even the players, they have shown how many times where he's off the field and you put in a guy from Stop and Shop that comes back there and play, and they rally and play better for him than they do with him. It's just something about him. It's just not meshing with Philadelphia, and they got to get him out of there, because Jalen Hurts got the job done yesterday. Whatever, his numbers may not have been fanatic, but the team rallied around him and got it done. And they brought it. I did not think they could beat New Orleans. I just didn't think. I thought they was going to give them a hard time. It didn't happen. I think we're starting to see the destruction of Cam Newton in the NFL, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to be next year for him. And I said that before the Patriots signed him. I was surprised any team signed him. And he may not want to see it, but it's being justified while a lot of teams passed on Cam Newton for cheap money and did not want to go with him, because it's not really there anymore, bro. It's just not. Cam Newton, in my opinion, he reminds me a little bit of Michael Vick in this way. Cam Newton did not really take care of his skills. Once he got the MVP, Cam Newton just thought, okay, I'm going to be at this level all the time. And it's not. And you look at him now, he's 31, 32. His fundamentals are not sound. He keep running the ball. And it's funny because they're starting to question the offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator's not throwing the football. He's just not. Even though Tampa Bay won yesterday, Tom Brady's another one. He need to put it up or hanging it up, bro. His passes are horrible. Some are behind the receivers. They turn around. They got to catch him. They got to go get him. That's not good football throwing. It's just not. I mean, they beat a team yesterday. They probably, needed to beat Minnesota. And at some point, we got to look at Minnesota and say, like, what the hell are they doing over there? I mean, because you have Diggs. You had Diggs under contract. He wanted to leave. Did you watch him last night against the Steelers? Did you watch him basically go to work on the Steelers? I mean, go to work. And I don't know, man. Speaking of Steelers, I really don't know, because it seemed like Tomlin, the coach of the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, he can't get this team back in line, bro. He's saying all the right things. If you can't catch and put somebody else out there, but they still ain't catching it. They still ain't running it. And this team's starting to fall apart, bro. And I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not saying he should be close to being fired, nothing of that nature, but you're starting to see there's a disconnect going on with this team, bro. They look horrible last night, man. Horrible. I mean, Ben is another one. That interception he threw for a pick six.
You know what, bro? I've been saying for the last 5 years, get rid of Ben Roethlisberger. And people were calling me crazy. Oh, Ben's this, Ben's that. But when I was watching that game last night, what the Buffalo Bills secondary was doing, which is everybody's figuring this out. All you got to do is sit on those routes for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you can just basically just make Ben look ordinary. They're just sitting on routes. Ben ain't gonna move. They sit on routes and watch Ben where he's gonna throw, and they get to the passes. And the receivers, I think, are seeing ghosts because they were creating distance earlier on in the season. after people start figuring out that Ben is not going to move around, he's going to stay in that pocket, he's holding on to the ball too long. I've been saying this for years. That offensive line is banged up and tired. They're tired. They are tired. And some of them are hurt. The defense, Dupree, big time loss for them a couple of weeks ago. Because he was one of the guys who could get after the quarterback and get after running backs and disrupt offenses. But I've been saying this for a long time. Ben needs to go. They need a mobile quarterback. They need a quarterback that can throw it downfield. Ben can't do it. He can't. And you're thinking that, you're saying that, some quarterbacks, when they get around 31 years old, they get at their peak. Cam is not there anymore. Cam can't get the ball down the field. Teams are figuring out that these quarterbacks, especially these older quarterbacks, they can't get the ball down the field for whatever reason. They can't do it. Jalen Hurts, congratulations to him, man. Had 167 yards in passing and had 106 yards in rushing. Just running all over the New Orleans Saints. I didn't think the New Orleans Saints were going to let him do all that because, quiet as kept, Philadelphia has a banged up offensive line too. But, and he knows that. So it was like 2 or 3 seconds. If he didn't have receiver open, he was going down the field. He was running down the field. Looked like he was playing for Oklahoma yesterday. And the way that everybody was rallying around him, for the Coach Peterson to say, we got to look at the tape and see if we could, put him in the starting job next week. What are you smoking, man? You're going to put Wentz out there after that? Come on, man. I know you're trying to save his feelings and all that, but it gets to a point where you got to win football games or you're going to be out of a job. You better put Hurts in. You better play him for the rest of the season. Put Wentz to the side, wrap it up for next season. Maybe you have a chance. Maybe you have a chance to make the playoffs in that division because it's so weak. But put Hurts in and let him play. He can do well against the last teams that they have to play in this season. Let him play. Let him play. We said that mid-season that he needed to come in and play. Think about where they would have been if this kid was playing like this at mid-season. Oh, man.
I'm gonna say something real quick and to piggyback on him because, we're gonna give him his props and that's cool. But I gotta believe there's got to be a general manager right now thinking I gotta get Lincoln Riley into the NFL game and him against head coach, bro, because he does something with quarterbacks, man. I mean, you look at the quarterbacks, the last 3 quarterbacks he sent to the league.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the one in Cleveland.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than him, he has his moments. But you couldn't tell me. I remember when Hurts went to Oklahoma, I was like, "Oh, he's gonna be able to live up to this." That open, wide open, because it's not Alabama's offense. It's not that little dink and go down, we run, and I said, he lit that offense up, bro. So it's got to be something with the coaching, his head coach, where if he can bring that. Look at Murray in Arizona. I thought Murray should have played baseball. I'm not gonna lie, that was my thought. But he has a way of getting these cats, man, ready and to excel for the most part in the NFL. Impossible. The year that they had this year, he can't be sitting around thinking I got a new crop of players coming in next year. It's gonna do better. He's got to come to the big dance, bro. He got to come now. And
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this. With that being said, I'm gonna say this. And I think the person that's quietly thinking this, to me, comes as a shocker. But the person that's probably gonna make that phone call is one Jerry Jones.
Look at Ice. He's trying to fight a smile.
I'm here to tell you. I don't care what the Cowboys say. They thinking about firing that head coach. I don't care.
Yeah. I thought that when he said, "Oh no, we're not thinking of making changes," I'm like, kiss of death right there. Bye. 2 things about Hurts. I knew he would do well in Philly because Philly loves black quarterbacks. You have Randall Cunningham, Donovan McNabb. You even have Mike Vick. They love their black quarterbacks, mobile quarterbacks who can sling it. The other thing is, the reason why I thought he would do well is because he was at Alabama under one system, went to Oklahoma, learned that system, and mastered both of them. So he doesn't have his IQ is through the roof. For you to master two systems within a season of each other is, that told me that you had a quarterback IQ that you could play in a pro game, because that, you got to think the game in the pro game much more than in college. But if you can pick up two systems like that, there's nothing that you can't do. Ice, you want any more of this?
Yeah, I mean, I think the other part too, and it's not to take away from him, because he's done an excellent job, particularly coming in at the last minute as a rookie. But I think the factor too that when you don't have tape on the guy, right? You don't have tape on him.
Yeah, sure.
You got to take advantage of it. I mean, we look at Lamar Jackson. We looked at when he was blowing up the first year. So it's nothing to take away from it, but it's just the honest truth to say, okay, they really don't know who I am. They really don't know. I don't have my tendencies down yet. They really don't have anything they can go after. So, like, to run, because let's be real. When you think about it, you would never think that the New Orleans Saints defense has been pretty strong this year will give over 100 yards rushing to a quarterback.
Yeah.
They just have not played that way. I mean, you look at when they want to shut you down, they've done it. But I think that plays into a part. So that's kudos to Hurts, and then also the coaching staff. So, and two, we all know this, that when you see a young guy out there running, making plays, moving around, it's something about that energy that allows teammates to start bouncing around. They just going, oh, wow, this is something we haven't seen in a few weeks. Oh, we're trying to win.
Yeah.
We're literally trying to win games. And that energy, believe it or not, anybody who plays sports knows that energy can be contagious, bro. It can literally be contagious. It just makes you go, yeah, we have a chance. And that's what I think he brings to the table at this point.
I'll try to explain that energy too. That energy is that when you see your teammate going all out, you don't want to disappoint him. So I'm going all out. I can't let them, I don't want to let my teammates down. So I'm going to do what I need to do to keep this thing going. And that's what you saw yesterday. Black, who gets the team ball from yesterday?
Hey, man, I got to give it to him, man. I mean, as you spoke earlier, he learned two systems in a matter of a year and was very effective. He come into the pros and he's, whatever this coach is throwing at him, he's executing it, bro. Like I said, he might have did his check of 1 or 2 where it wasn't there. He ain't spent a lot of time back there. I'm going to get out of here. He didn't make a lot of mistakes. His mental, the way he kind of absorbs the game and see the game. I know it's early on. Ice has a point that they don't have the book on him yet, but just to be starting, man. And some of these coaches, just to be starting is impressive. So to think that all he's went through, all these battles to go through, and to come out on your first start and beat a defense like New Orleans Saints, that's no quirk to me, bro. That's just saying you were prepared. You prepared yourself. You know what you're up against, and you're ready. So for me, if I had 2 balls, I'd give them to him. But yeah, without a doubt, bro, he get my ball.
Oh my. I ain't gonna follow that up with that. Don't give it. Don't give it. Any ball.
Yeah. I mean, normally we pick players, but I'm really big on the team thing. The first thing came to my mind was thinking about the progress Miami's having this season. But for this week, I'm going to go a different route and kind of say I'm going to look at Buffalo. Seriously, because the way that they manhandled or pretty much kept Pittsburgh in check, and the way that their quarterback Allen, who can be very, he can be very unstable at times. They played as if they were playing to go to the Super Bowl against Pittsburgh. They were on point. They were feeling confident, and Pittsburgh was trying to make something happen. And the fact that Buffalo is pretty much a young team, it was just, you saw the confidence exuding from them. Like late in the game, okay, we have so much time. We know we got to run the clock down. Let's make these plays. And yeah, we know they're Pittsburgh, but we're not afraid of them. And I was really impressed by that. Watching near the end of the game, they were like, y'all don't want this, huh? You don't want it? We will take it. And that's how much confidence they showed. I don't know what Buffalo's going to do down the line, but it's almost as if they're saying to themselves, yeah, we're getting ready for playoffs. And if we see you guys again, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. I'm going to give my game ball to Chase Young. And Mike Tomlin, everybody some people thought it was like a insult. He was saying, I never want to lose that much to get a player like you. Well, basically that was a compliment because he knows that that's a big time player. And the way that guy was controlling the ball on the defensive side, a lot of people don't realize that it's harder to play defense in football than offense because offense already knows what they're going to do. Defense has to anticipate and kind of figure out what the offense has to do. And to see what that guy was doing on the defensive side of the ball yesterday, that was pretty impressive. That was really, really impressive. I'm not putting him in the Hall of Fame yet, but if you can get some other guys that are dogs like him on that side of football, Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, and New York Giants, y'all gonna have headaches during the games when y'all playing that dude. I saw him hit Joe Burrow earlier this season.
Yeah.
And that was the last game Joe Burrow played for the rest of the year. He's not playing. And weren't they in the same draft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it was personal.
He was like third. I mean, but they what you got to realize too, I don't think it was personal because they were teammates at Ohio State.
Yeah.
So they know each other. And you notice when Burrow went down, one of the first guys that ran over there was Chase Young.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like one of those things where them old cartoons with the sheepdog and the coyote. They say, hey, they meet each other during the day, and then after he whoop his butt, he go over and still tell him, hey, all right, man, see you tomorrow.
Yeah, clock out, see you tomorrow. Yeah. All right, let's go to college. Let's go to college football. It's a big weekend coming up in college football. This is going to determine who's going to be in the playoffs with some of these teams. We have Alabama, Florida. And Florida, I want to talk about the Florida game and what happened in the Florida game. And that's why they can't have nice things sometimes because you had a player by the name of Wilson who takes his shoe after a play that could have got off the field, throws it down the field, I think get a 15 or 20-yard penalty. But that's not even the bad part. They lost the game because they gave them another shot. But the bad part is the coach of the team. And we've talked about him before. Co-signs and says, oh, throwing his shoe is a football play. They got to get rid of that coach. That's one of the dumbest. He got to go, man, because he's not really an example of what, young men should be looking at on a college football team because he did some other things a couple of weeks ago. But they're getting ready to play Alabama. And, I never really root for Florida and I never really root for Alabama, but it would be nice. It would be nice for Alabama to run up 50, 60, 70 on this Florida team. The other game that I want to talk about is the Arizona State against Arizona. And Sumlin, it was 70 to 3, I think, or I don't know what the score was. We ran 70. I was asking you, Ice, offline, if Herb Edwards knew that his team running up 70 would get Sumlin fired, would he run up the score, or would he kind of take his foot off the gas a little bit? Because he got fired the next day. Lovey gets fired at Illinois. And there were some other coaches that are dropping. And, Harbaugh stays at Michigan for another year, and he's looking for an extension. But you got Alabama against Florida, Notre Dame against Clemson. There's another coach that I wish that, I'm rooting for Notre Dame in this game. I'm rooting for Notre Dame. And I never root for Notre Dame. I'm rooting for them to get Clemson out of the playoffs. Just get them out of the playoffs. And Dabo, Ice, and I'm going to give it to you in a minute, kind of did a stab in the back to Ohio State saying if you don't win enough games or don't play enough games, you shouldn't be in the playoffs. And so I know we talked offline about it. Give me your eye test, man.
I'm not even gonna go there first because that's what is expected of me. So I'm gonna change up the game a little bit.
Run it. Why are you mad, son? Just run it, baby.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Well, I don't have no reason to be mad no more. I have no reason.
I would be mad at Dabo.
Why? Well, Dabo understands the situation. Dabo, again, like I said, they're trying to make sure that they don't have to see a difficult team of what's going on. We don't talk about revenge factor, but somebody had mentioned, I think the great coach at Florida said he thinks they should still be considered for the playoffs because they played more 10 games. And I said, wait, man, isn't there a record 8-2? If you're gonna play 11 games, that means you're gonna be 8-3. I mean, so you still legitimately think you belong in the playoffs? Really? Okay. I'm glad you think that way. That was the same way. Here's the thing, and you can be mad at the Big Ten, or you can blame the Big Ten for starting the season late. I get that, and you can say they hurt their own teams for that. But if we're talking about realistically saying from an eye test, who do you think the top 4 teams are? And that's what I think it should be. Granted, everybody knows this season is messed up. It's not like they played only 2 games. I get that, but at the same time, you look at it, and some things don't even need to be said. Florida did their own selves in.
Yep.
So you don't have to worry about no other voters saying anything else. You lost to a team, LSU, that struggled all year long. Their kicker kicked a damn 57-yard field goal in the snow, the fog, anything that was possible. He kicked a field goal to win it. So, and you had an opportunity to tie it. So if you think you're still worthy, I guess I don't know any damn thing about football, and that's fine. But watching that game, it was back and forth. And kudos to LSU for rising up and saying, we're not going to be punked. They were so excited about it. It's like, well, that's what we do. And they're excited because that was their college football playoff game right there. That's what they're for them. That's what it was. Other game was interesting. Was Coastal Carolina over Troy. That was a hell of a game. Coastal Carolina is 11-0. They're now in the top 10. They won 42-38 over Troy. Troy is 5-6. Troy was on something. That university was on something too. They were trying to be the upset, trying to get their own upset special. 5-6.
Yeah.
They were trying to shut some things down. And of course, North Carolina over Miami, Florida. I'm gonna tell you something. Miami, Florida's been playing decent with King at quarterback pretty much all year. But I don't know what Mac Brown told those guys beforehand, but I started just flipping back and forth, and that was an old school butt whooping. Oh my goodness, they were just all up on them, and Miami would start generating some momentum, and right when they scored, whoop, turn around, here's North Carolina scoring again. I'm like, wow, they're on one today. So that was very interesting, and it's going to be when we come down to it now this week. I love it because now you have to pull it out. So we're going to see what Florida made of. Florida plays Alabama, as you said. Also, comes to Notre Dame. It's right there. It's right there for you. Ohio State plays Northwestern. So it's going to be interesting. Now they're throwing, maybe Texas A&M. Yeah, it should be at the 4. Really? Okay. Nope. Who's next? Cincinnati? Why? Well, Cincinnati should be over Ohio State. I'm like, yo, if you got that much hate, keep hating on, bro. And let the committee decide who's going to be in there. I find it hilarious. I really do. That you just do not like a school or a team so much that you try to find anything or any way to make sure they are not involved in the playoff scenario.
You know, Ice and Black, when Pop calls, he don't call often. It's usually something important. So Pop called, and I missed the call, and I called him back thinking, okay, maybe something bad happened. He said, man, did you see Carolina beating up on the Canes? I said, yeah, Pop, I was on the call, and I was watching that. And so I promised to not wear this jersey for the Carolina Tar Heels beating the Canes because quiet as it's kept, us in North Carolina, we don't like Miami Hurricanes. They talk too much. And North Carolina has been kind of trying to build that program for years. But like you said, I don't know what Matt Brown's telling these guys, but they are ferocious. They play like they belong. And so to put a hurting on Miami, that maybe people in Miami are questioning the coach down there about whether or not he's the right coach for that particular program. Because I've never seen Miami get pounded like that. And Pop was saying, they keep running the same running play. So you had 2 running backs who ran up 544 yards.
Wow, yeah.
He said they keep running the same running play and they can't stop it. 2 running backs, 5. That's Pee-wee football stats. That's Pee-wee football stats. Black, you want any of this, man?
Yeah, I want to go back to something you said earlier. Did I hear you correctly when you said Herm Edwards got fired, got let go?
No. Sumlin. Herm Edwards, Arizona State,
Yeah,
basically ran up the score on Arizona, a rival school.
70 to
70 to 7. Yeah, 70 to 7. And I was asking because the next day they fired Sumlin. And I'm like, and they're good friends. They're good friends. So I wouldn't blame Herm Edwards for him getting fired. But if Herm Edwards knew, would he have kind of called the dogs off at halftime and say, listen, let's put the third string in and, not do this?
Yeah, I think either way, I'm a little surprised at Herm doing that, whether he got fired or not. I just think, Herm know what time it is, man. I mean, he's another brother trying to coach a school and get the job done. But listen to you two talk. To me, this is interesting scenario. Everybody's talking about Ohio State, but what happens if Clemson does beat Notre Dame, and they split? What happens, bro? Who are you taking out?
They both get in.
Realistic.
They both get in.
That shouldn't be.
But they're going to do it, though. They're both going to get in. I promise you that.
I think so. Yeah. Because to me right now, that top four, you can do all the chit chat or whatever. What it is right now is what they want to be, bro. I'm serious. Only way that doesn't happen, even if Alabama gets smoked, you tell me Alabama jumping out of the top four? It's not happening. It's just not, it's not happening. To me, this is a formality, what's going on this weekend. Because unless Notre Dame really get trounced, Notre Dame's not coming out of the top four. Because they beat them once, so they're going to say it's a split, and they'll leave Clemson in. Now, if Clemson loses badly, who are you going to put in? Not only who are you going to put in, who are you going to put in that people really want to watch? That's what's come down to at this point. Who do you move in?
Texas A&M would have an argument that, listen, we need to move up.
You can argue it, bro. But you can argue it, but
I ain't saying they're gonna put them in. I said they have an argument.
But my point is, if you put them in, and I'm not saying they don't have an argument, is it going to be when the end of the year comes, when the first year comes, when they do that semi-little playoff that they do, is that game going to garner attention and garner ratings?
Duly noted.
I have another question for you real quick on that. So, people in Cincinnati might say they deserve a shot.
Right.
People might laugh at that. But the other thing, too, which is ironic, is Clemson Notre Dame play this week, right?
Yeah.
Playoffs comes around and they both get in or whatever and it's close. We could have them playing a third time in the playoffs. Because Clemson's Notre Dame's number 2, Clemson's number 3. If they keep Ohio State at 4, Ohio State will play Alabama, and then Clemson and Notre Dame play for a third time. How crazy is that?
It's almost like
Ohio State would move to number 3?
Huh?
You're saying Ohio State wouldn't move to number 3?
There's a chance. I would not surprise me. It would not surprise me. That means you would have, again, Clemson and Notre Dame could play 3 times this year, and the third time come in the playoffs. We've seen that. There'll be the third time. If they keep Ohio State at 4, that means they'd have to play Alabama.
Notre Dame, love them or hate them, it's a draw for TV, bro. It just is. They're a draw. So Notre Dame could not show up this week. They're still going to be in the semifinal. It is what it is.
Wow.
So tell me this. Here's what I'll do real quick. Whatever you can call it however you want to. Tell me the 4. Who you think the 4 are, and you call the outcome of the games this week, and then line up who the 4 are going to be, who's going to play who in the 4 in the playoffs. What'd you see? What's your forecast?
Who are you thinking of, me or Black?
Whoever, both of y'all. No matter.
I'll let you go with it, Poe.
I think Alabama's going to be there no matter what. I think Ohio State, I think they have too much for Northwestern, so I could see them actually moving up if either Notre Dame or Clemson loses, either moving up to the number 3 spot or maybe number 4, depending on how bad they trounce Northwestern in the Big Ten championship. And maybe Clemson at number 3, And I wouldn't be surprised if Texas A&M sneaks in there. If Clemson gets beat really bad, they drop out of the playoffs, and then Texas A&M jumps in there. But I can't see Florida making any moves whatsoever after they got embarrassed. Even though if they beat Alabama, I can't see them moving up into the top 4.
Yeah, I just think it's set already, man. I think whatever happened this weekend is going to be a wash, unless Clemson or Notre Dame embarrasses themselves in the loss. If they play a good game, they might flop places, and that's going to be it. Notre Dame is already there, bro. You're not taking Notre Dame out. You're just not, because they draw, bro. They just draw around the country. You know how many old Notre Dame fans are living in this country? I mean, they've been waiting for the opportunity for Notre Dame to be exactly where they are. And when it comes down to TV, ratings, they're going to pull some folks, man. So Clemson, to me, is the team that is kind of looking on the outside and may fall outside. If they don't have a good showing, they have their quarterback now. They have their quarterback. So they really need to beat Notre Dame in sound, sense, and matter. I mean, sound, strong matter. If they lose that game, they could fall out. Ohio State's going to be there. It's just too much fun. And taking nothing away from them, they're going to play 3 games, bro. Ohio State's going to
Ice, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it's the formalities, particularly between Clemson and Notre Dame. Like you said, unless Notre Dame blows Clemson out, I still think they're going to be there. And that was when he knows it. That was when he now is politicking, because he does not want to be 4. He does not want to see Alabama out the box. He knows that. He does not want that game, so he's going to do everything he can. And then, the other thing, if Ohio State moves up, I mean, here's the thing. If you were, and maybe he has a right to feel any way he wants to. There are a number of people that don't think Ohio State deserves to be in there because of that. But here's my thing. You are a coach of one of the so-called most talented teams in America, right? Why would you be worried about whether or not a team like Ohio State get in? You should say, we don't give a damn who come. We're going to take care of them. You got Trevor Lawrence. You got all of these weapons. You beat them last year. All of this stuff. Why would you take your time to sit there and talk about another team when all you worried about is you hear Alabama talking about that?
No.
You hear Alabama talking about, well, we don't think such again. You hear all of the other SEC confidants and the people that supporters that love them. They're saying that. You hear Alabama saying that. Alabama doesn't care. They do not care.
Ice, it's almost like Clemson is looking over the Notre Dame game, talking about Ohio State. And if that's the case, if I was the coach of Notre Dame, like, look, they're looking over us. They're not even thinking about us, and they don't think we can beat them with their quarterback in there. I would be terrorizing Lawrence in that game to try to get to the playoffs, to knock Clemson out. And then that would leave Clemson with 2 losses. I can't see them in the top 4. Where you have Texas A&M there with 1 loss, and I think they're just going to beat the snot out of Tennessee. They're going to have an argument to get in. They're going to have an argument to get in.
I think there's been some vulnerability by all the teams. Nobody want to talk about that. I mean, we talk about Alabama, and they've crushed a lot of teams, but there's been some vulnerability among all the teams. You saw Ohio State give up a lot of points a couple of times. You saw them a hell of a game, a close game versus Indiana. You saw Notre Dame playing some kind of close games. But I think there is a lot, and particularly with Clemson, because Clemson was on the ropes a couple of times. But they, I think they're going off of, like maybe with Ohio State, they're going off past years. But this is a different year. So it's going to be exciting. I just want to see what the committee does. But again, all I'll say, last thing about Florida, you said you had it set up and you thought you deserved to be there. I wonder if you still think you deserve to be there now.
They did themselves in, and I don't feel bad for it. And I got a lot of friends who are Florida fans, but I don't feel bad for Florida because they got a coach that's undisciplined and the players are undisciplined. Wilson threw away that game when he threw that shoe. He literally threw away the game when he threw that shoe. Let's go through the top 25. Alabama number 1, followed by Notre Dame, Clemson, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Florida at number 6. Iowa State, number 7, moves up 2 spots, followed by Cincinnati, Georgia, Miami of Florida, Oklahoma, Indiana, who plays Purdue. in the rivalry game there. Oklahoma, number 11, plays Iowa State. Nobody's talking about. Black was talking about Iowa State earlier this year. Case was talking about Iowa State. So that should be a good game also. Indiana, Coastal Carolina, Notre Dame, and it plays Ohio State for the Big Ten Championship. USC. So Washington gets bounced out because they didn't have enough players due to COVID, and now Oregon gets to play Friday night for the Pac-12 championship. COVID is an MF, boy. Iowa playing Michigan. It's funny how Michigan couldn't play for the last 2 weeks, and now they get to play. Iowa.
I told you, baby.
Carolina, your idol. Enjoy that victory for one more week. At 17, BYU 18. I thought BYU, they took it on the chin with Coastal Carolina, but they're still in the top 25 at 18. They play UCF. The Raging Cajuns play Coastal Carolina. Texas idol, Colorado's idol. I think Oklahoma State is idol. North Carolina State is idol. And then you have Tulsa and Missouri. Any other thoughts, gentlemen, about college football? Black or Ike?
Yeah, as you mentioned, Oklahoma versus Iowa State. That's gonna be a hell of a game. I'm looking forward to that. That's coming up. Cincinnati and Tulsa. Yeah, they're supposed to play twice, but then they eliminated one in the games. Now it's for the conference championship. That's something Cincinnati has to be very careful of. And then again, just coming back to the point of Alabama, Florida, Clemson, Notre Dame. I love the Clemson Notre Dame game because there's no more chance for it to bring up excuses. It is what it is. It's a level playing field. And like I said, whoever wins, depending on what the committee decides, we'll be playing that team for a third time in the playoffs. So it's gonna be very interesting.
So I promised a buddy of mine who's a big Notre Dame fan, if Notre Dame wins the national championship, I wear a Notre Dame shirt that he got me years ago. The shirt is called Play Like a Champion Today. I always love that slogan. And he got me the shirt. And I got a hat with I think I told you this, Ice. I got a hat, a Notre Dame hat. It has a black leprechaun on it. So if they win, y'all see the black leprechaun. College basketball, man. Let's go through the top 25. Gonzaga, who plays Iowa, who's ranked number 3, remains number 1. They are going to play, hopefully, on Saturday. Iowa's pretty good with Garza. He's a beast down low. And he put in some work with North Carolina. North Carolina tried to give him a tough time with those bigs down there. Please get rid of Coach Williams. He doesn't know how to coach. He doesn't recruit good players. All right. Baylor's number 2. Michigan State's number 4. Kansas 5, followed by Houston, Villanova, West Virginia, Creighton. They fell one spot from 8 to 9. Tennessee moves up 2 spots. Texas, Ice Water's favorite team with Jones, they moved 2 slots, followed by Wisconsin. Illinois, they dropped 1. They're 4-2 now. They dropped 7 spots, followed by Texas Tech. Florida State, Missouri moves up 17 spots to take number 16. Virginia, San Diego State is a real good team. They move up 6 slots. If you haven't watched San Diego State, that's a team to watch. They got a lot of veterans on the team, and they took out Arizona State, Bobby Hurley's team, last week in a really good game. I thought Arizona State would come back, but San Diego State just had too much for them. Followed by Rutgers, Ohio State. Ohio State's going to be playing Purdue on Wednesday. Also, Rutgers playing Illinois on Sunday. That should be a good game. Duke shouldn't even be in the top 25. They're ranked number 21. They fell 11 spots down, followed by North Carolina. I'm not sure North Carolina should be in the top 25 now. Also, Kentucky dropped completely out of the top 25. They are, I think, 1-4 starting out the season. And then you have Louisville, Clemson, and Michigan. All of those teams kind of jumped in the top 25. Ice, give me your eye test of college basketball.
Yeah, a lot going on. We had some games canceled. We've had that. You said that Baylor Gonzaga was canceled. Gonzaga in Texas was canceled. That would have been a great game. But see Iowa and Gonzaga, hopefully they can bring that together. You got a top-notch scorer in Garza and just the bigs of Gonzaga. That's going to be very interesting. It's like Can one guy go against all of that talented group with the Zags at Gonzaga? Two teams though that I think you should really look out for, and they're exciting to watch. You mentioned West Virginia. West Virginia is solid, and they're back to the old school Huggins, Bob Huggins basketball, playing strong defense, moving forward, putting that pressure on you with undersized players, and they seem like they're doing well with that. The other thing too, the other team that I would say that you should probably look out for, you mentioned Rutgers with Ron Harper Jr. Yeah, that's the name, Ron Harper Jr. Jr. is playing well for Rutgers, and they're not afraid of anybody. I'm interested about that game you mentioned on Sunday. They play Illinois. And the Illinois center, I think when they lost, he had like 36, didn't he? Seems like he's coming along a little bit. Yeah. So that's enough.
The commentators won't say.
Yeah. He is. You know, I think the center from Illinois is my what I want to call him. He's my this year as a Boogie.
As a Boogie? Oh no! Come on!
I'm just saying because you know I love watching a center. Sometimes they mostly happen to be from Africa, right? But they come out with limited skills early on, and they develop themselves, and then they have great potential. But then there's always skepticism about them. But then sooner or later they break through. I feel that way about the Illinois center this year.
Yeah. Also, before I get Black some, if you want some, watch out for Northwestern. Coach Collins got those guys playing pretty good basketball. Watch out for Northwestern. Black, you want some of college basketball, man?
Not really, man, because I was talking earlier. I'm just finding a hard time getting to college basketball, especially after seeing that young man from Florida fall flat in the face. Yeah, that's just tough to watch, bro.
I wanted to talk about that too, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Keyontae Johnson, who plays for Florida, is in an induced coma. And he had the coronavirus this summer. And what they're not telling you about the coronavirus is that sometimes the after effects of having it puts a strain on your heart. And so the brother, I saw part of the game where he had a slam dunk and they called a timeout. I think the other team called a timeout. They went over to the sidelines. He was trying to get back on the court and he didn't make it. And so it's something that I know that when people talk about college sports, Black, they don't talk about how these guys aren't getting paid. They don't talk about some of the injuries or some of the illnesses that they may get while playing. And I'm wondering, is there an impact? Is there going to be an impact if we lose this young brother in this induced coma? How would that impact the college basketball and football and sports in general?
Sad to say, bro, we no impact. Because to me, it's easy for me to say that based on this. That happened when? Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, I think it's Saturday.
Saturday. You would think at least, bro, at least you would take a few days to kind of calm down, don't talk about games, just kind of let things kind of simmer for a little bit. It's business as usual. It's almost like it didn't happen. I said earlier, the story itself is vague. He's in an induced coma. Huh? How you see him just fall flat in his face? All of a sudden, nothing else. Well, yeah, COVID. It's like you said about the heart. Nothing else being said because ESPN, CBS, all of them, they're in the bag trying to get this season to go forward so they can have revenue dollars from ads come in. It's sad, bro. This brother may lose his life. He may lose, and then they're worrying about, we got Coach K and the rest of them. They're worrying about playing in a bubble, not playing in a bubble. It's just, for me, bro, it's sickening. And I may never watch college basketball the rest of the season. I'm just going to leave it at this. It's clear and simple to me. I'm tired of seeing white men make millions off of black men dribbling the basketball and they don't give a shit about. And that, to me, that's on display this weekend, bro. You can flip it up and down, bracket, wherever you want to be. That's the bottom line. There's nothing more saying, nothing drives home more than what we seen this weekend. And Sunday, act like it didn't even happen. Didn't even happen. Because these motherfuckers, they're going to pick up their millions. They're going to get this. Coach K, the rest of them. That's all they care about. You know what? That's it for me, bro. That's it. Because we can't even have the conversation no more about them not getting paid. We don't move past that. Now they dying right in front of us. And they still don't care. Still don't care.
Oh yeah, there's a news story that I came across last week. I didn't mention it last week that they're trying to come up with another college association that is going to be allow the players to make money, which may be a threat to the NCAA. But I want to get more details about that. But Ice, what do you think about Keyontae Johnson, the situation with him being in an induced coma? And I'm coming with the article about the hypocrisy of college sports pretty soon for your website.
Okay, appreciate that. It's really sad. I mean, it is. It's really sad as to what happens because it does show you that they're seen as athletes first, or before they're seen as people, and definitely before they're seen as students. So it's really sad when I saw it because I had not seen the replay of when him falling. First thing came to my mind was Hank Gallup.
Yeah,
my heart just went. It just
shrunk.
It shrunk. It just dropped because to see somebody 6'8", 6'9" lose all their faculties, right? They just lose it all. It's like, my God, what happened? And the sad thing is, and the point I will go on with this is, we need to continue to educate our athletes. We need to really let them know what's going on. And some do, and some still want to move forward. We need to educate them and educate the parents as to the rights that they have. Because I remember Reggie Lewis, man.
Yeah.
Reggie Lewis had the enlarged heart, had issues, and they went all around the mulberry bush trying to find a doctor that would clear him. And he finally did, even though a lot of people telling him, no. But we have to let our athletes know, and a lot of times it starts at home, but they have to be educated too. We need to let them know that some things are not worth it, man. Some things are not worth your life. Real talk. And I mean that. When I look at this whole situation, it's not worth your life. Yeah, it's the billions of dollars. I say it all the time. I make the running joke, but it's real. The running joke that if you think that the NCAA really gives a damn about athletes, you are sadly mistaken. There's a reason why they offer the Final Four ticket package to the fans months earlier, knowing that only a short portion of individuals are going to get tickets. So what do? They take all of the money, everybody that thinks they're going to get that golden ticket, that raffle to get into the Final Four, and they bank the money. So basically, they're making interest off your money until they finally wait maybe 5 weeks before the Final Four or 6 weeks to let you know, oh, you want a golden ticket. So now I want to cash your check. So those that don't get it, they get their money back. But all of the extra money that they made in interest goes directly to the NCAA. Nobody talks about that. You know how much money that is? You know how many people are fanatics? They're so desperate to go to these damn games. So that's easy money. And nobody thinks about the athletes. Again, it comes back to the point of being sad, being frustrated with it. Again, that's why it's important. I tell people all the time, you really want to know what this whole business is about? You want to know how much people, these businesses, I call them, don't give a damn about athletes? Read the book, $40 Million Slaves. I'm telling you, you want to know some real insight on what's going on in the business of sports? $40 Million Slaves. And it will tell you exactly what you need to know about this business. But unfortunately, this is up to the athletes to make these choices.
I want to say something real quick, if you don't mind. It's easy to pick on the NCAA, bro. And we do that well. We have kicked them and banged on them for a long time. It's time for us to start picking on the parents of these kids, bro. The parents that basically of the Big Ten, they yell and scream when the Big Ten said, no, we're not going to play. Those same parents, they don't give a shit about that young man that fell on the court the other day. They don't care because all they want to do is get their kids to make millions. That's all it is, bro. And it's time at some point the conversation turns to these parents, bro, because they're driving some of this too. Whether we want to believe it or not, they're driving it. They don't care. Even I don't want to take a shot at his parents, but come on, your son had COVID in the summer. Why is he playing basketball in the first place? Why is he out there? You can't tell me what you just said about heart after COVID. His parents didn't hear about that. He didn't hear about that. So at some point, bro, we got to turn the perception and focus to where it belongs. Some of these parents need to be caught on the carpet, bro, Because we saw it. I can't remember the guy's name that was in charge of the Big Ten. They was ready to put that cat on a pole and light him on fire. The parents were. They're ready to light him up.
Yeah.
So we could always yell at the NCAA and karate chop them, whatever we want to do. But sometimes we got to look at these parents, bro, because they don't care anymore. All they want is my kid he can get. If he can make it to the NFL, he can make it to the NBA. They don't care. Because they look at these cats making all this money and they believe their kids are entitled to it. And that's where we are. That's where college sports has taken us, in my opinion. I mean, I love the game. I love to watch it. It's going to give us competitive, but it's gotten to the point where it's such a cesspool to where the parents will basically pimp their own kids out to get millions later on. And that's it. So I can't continue blaming the NCAA. I can't. Because at some point, if you didn't have let's be honest, you take black kids away from college sports, ain't nobody watching, bro. You and I both know that. There's nobody watching. Let all the black kids go to HBCUs. You won't even have a March Madness. April Madness, May Madness, you won't have it. So we can't keep being part of the system, and then the system screws us, complain about it. Just like the parent, the guy that went to Duke, his mother going to complain about it. You wait till the year is over to start talking about what Duke was doing to your kid? I'm sorry, if they're mistreating your kids, pull them out of school. Why is he there for the whole season? There's a coach, I think at what right now, Indiana, if I'm not mistaken, or Greg, whatever his name. His son come home, he's in the basement. His coach is punching him in the mouth. You don't go kick his ass, bro? You don't drive up to school? What is going on with these parents, bro? I don't understand. Who's going to manhandle and whip your son other than you? And you home talking to AP, Associated Press, I don't know what's going on. Parents, you're a disgrace. It is, bro. Let's call it what it is. We could always pick on the NCAA. When are we going to start talking about these parents? And the majority of them are black parents.
Yeah. Great points, both of you. And if you haven't read the book, $40 Million Slave, highly recommend you read that book. You'll understand a lot of what's going on in sports today, just like I said. Ice, we're going to go to boxing, man. Your son, Shakur Stevenson, showed out. Wasn't an impressive, I think it was an impressive fight where he got some work done because it looked like a sparring match. But Joshua also, he won his fight. So I know you do another boxing podcast or broadcast. I want you to shout that out. But what's next for these fighters, man? Where do they go next with these two fights?
Yeah, Joshua right now, I mean, he had to win. He won impressively, pretty much won almost every round. And he had to do that because now he opens the door where puts more pressure on the others when you look at Fury. Because that was the thing, he initially had agreed to a verbal agreement with 2 fights series with Fury, and that's what he wants next. Of course, Deontay Wilder's is gonna try to find a way to kind of come up with some legal.
You don't want none.
But at the same time, Joshua
want that smoke.
Joshua with the win has put himself in a position to fight Fury.
Yeah,
I mean, minus the legalities, and he took care of his business. So and he looked well doing it, and that was the key. Was he gonna come through like he's supposed to? So I think that's the next move there. Shakur Stevenson is now, I think, the mandatory for WBO. So there's a couple titles that he's up for. He's calling a couple people out. So he's ready. They know he's ready. I saw where Andre Ward was one of his supporters. It's kind of like one of his mentors. But what Andre Ward has done is step back a little bit. So he's not on the day-to-day handling of Andre Ward's not on the day-to-day handling of Shakur Stevenson anymore. He's still there, but he's kind of like more in the background and letting them do the work. But he's still going to keep his eye on him. But Shakur Stevenson is just one of the pure boxing talents. He's able to box, he can punch, and he understands the ins and outs of boxing. And the guy that he fought on Saturday was a veteran. And he knew actually how to stick around. So he's been around a lot of fights, and it was impressive to watch Stevenson. Stevenson, if it was up to him, he fight everybody right now. He won Loman. He called out Lomachenko. He calling everybody now. So they're trying to keep him a little low key, kind of take him along slowly. But He's not afraid of anybody. He's one of the most talented fighters in that 130, 135 range. And there's a lot there from Deontay, from Gervonta Davis to, there's all kind of different fights there for him to kind of connect with, and everybody knows it. So watch very closely, because I don't think if we clear out of COVID in the next year, definitely the next 2 years, you're going to hear Shakur Stevenson in the mix with a lot of the top talent, because that's what he wants. As he said, he's only one of the few young men in boxing that does want that smoke.
Yeah. It's ironic. I was listening to some of the commentators and then the announcer talk about him being from Newark, New Jersey, and living on Muhammad Ali Avenue. I mean, he's destined. He's destined. He has that kind of like, sometimes when I get glimpses of him, he has that little Ali kind of, a little, that little twinkle in his eye, So I like watching him fight. Like I said, the brother who came in there, I'm on the phone with my boy Ed during the fight, and I'm like, this is a sparring match. The brother's not trying to get knocked out, but he's trying to, just really kind of hang in there with him to say, hey, I went the whole distance with this great champion. So we'll see that. Black NBA, man, you paying attention to the preseason? Because I really don't get into the NBA preseason, but they're talking about KD and Kyrie looking great, and they're loaded, and the Nets, you got to watch out for the Nets, and, all these other teams coming together. I think one of the Ball sons got cut from the Detroit Pistons. I don't even think he got playing time. They just cut him. So there was 3 Ball sons that were playing in the NBA, but not anymore, just 2. And I did see some clips of LaMelo. He looking kind of sweet. He looking kind of sweet out there. Give me your thoughts, man, on the NBA preseason rumors, news, transitions, man.
Well, I think the biggest thing for the preseason is that James Harden will be joining the basketball tomorrow. We're in a Houston Rocket uniform. Who saw that coming? I just think it's too early. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kyrie Irving, he's Kyrie Irving. He's basically getting fined for saying things to the media and everything else, bonds, and he's smarter than everybody else. So I think it's just too early. We have one game to basically crown the Brooklyn Nets as being anything other than a sideshow at this point, bro. You still got a coach that hasn't coached yet. You still got a coach that doesn't play defense, assistant coach that don't play defense. You got another coach that's going to be sipping wine on the bench during halftime. So there's a lot going on in the Brooklyn Nets. So it's going to take more than one preseason. If I remember, there's like 80, 82 games in the NBA season. And I was saying to my son the other day, I want to see them in March. I want to see that team in March. I want to see if Kyrie Irving's still playing, if he's still healthy. I want to see him in March. Don't come out razzle dazzle now. It's a long season, bro. And COVID is not going to save a lot of these teams next year. So to me, that's what I want to kind of wait to see. I think it's interesting that they said Westbrook is showing up early in Washington. He's really ready to get the ball rolling. He's meeting with the players. So it might be a different Westbrook from what we know. It might be different. I think he's going to – maybe not. I see Ice laughing. I hear him laughing. Yeah, what am I talking about? It's too late in the game to change a jackass, so you probably won't change. I will say this, though. When you talked about Melo, that he's looking good, I still say, I know it may not sound good, I think Minnesota missed the ball not taking him number 1, bro. Because that excitement is going to follow him. And this year, the luster of Zion is not going to be there as much. And they're going to ship all that to him. And Charlotte, he'll be sitting back and just soaking it up, bro. So in that sense, I get my popcorn ready. Caramel popcorn, that is.
Yeah, he was throwing some passes where I just saw the highlights and I was like, woo, wait a minute. Woo. I mean, just running down on the break behind the back. I was like, is this Pistol Pete? I mean, looking sweet. But they're saying Harden is really unmoved about playing with John Wall. and he still wants out of Houston. And they're saying that the Nets and Philly are not interested. They're not interested because I think Houston would want Kyrie, and the Nets ain't giving them up. And I guess Houston would want either Simmons or Embiid, and they're not giving them up. All right, so what are your thoughts about the NBA season, the preseason so far?
Well, I mean, like you said, you can't make any declarations on a couple games in the preseason this early. Everybody look good in practice, right? But so I mean, and I looked at Ball. Ball does look nice. Ball need to work on them other things in the game though, because this ain't Lithuania. He learned. I mean, the dimes are nice, but he learning that them shots that he's trying to make and not being able to play defense against some quality NBA players. I mean, I think he's going to really be a good player, but they're already saying early on this time going to be limited. He's going to be behind, was it Graham? He used to play for Kansas. So it's a learning process. He has some growing pains, but I think he's going to be okay. As far as Brooklyn is concerned, I mean, yeah, Durant's healthy right now. So it's kind of,
he look a little thinner.
Yeah.
Oh, he look real thin. I mean, light.
So, I mean, they're doing that, but we'll see. Only time till you have to get it in all of the movement into the rest of the season. But two things I'll say that really have stood out to me. One is I got some great news for you, Knicks fans. I know y'all paying attention. Got great news for the Knicks fans. Tobin is for real.
Oh yeah.
He is for real. And despite you and despite your franchise, because he's from there, he's going to bring it. We recognized him when he came to Dayton, Ohio, and put on the show. He's going to do everything he can despite you. Now, you might try to sabotage it because that's what y'all known for. You get in your own way. But this dude is a player, and if you the other thing too is I know you trying to saying need to see more changes out of this guy, but let Kevin Knox play a little bit before you criticize him. Let Kevin Knox, let him play a little bit with some other people that know how to play, and let him roll a little bit. I'm not saying he's gonna be your superstar.
I'm waiting.
Right, but I'm just saying, just let him play a little bit. He can play the game. But if you let him go, he'll do something else somewhere. You'll do something somewhere else. I will say the last thing on this is I'm gonna go to Houston, and it's early, I know, but John Wall is healthy. He looks like he's healthy. If he can continue on, I think he's going to get back to being John Wall, at least to a certain level. And I know y'all laugh. I told y'all this. Y'all laughing already because how y'all feel about him. But that damn Boogie Cousins is in shape, bro.
Yeah, he looks much thinner.
He's in shape, and he's shooting them threes.
Yeah.
He's dunking on people. Boogie Cousins in shape and healthy. He could be a problem. I'm not saying he'll come back and dominate, but he could be a problem. And it's almost as if he's taking this very seriously, being off. And you can, the first thing in the interview, first thing I wanted to see, I looked at his body. I was like, is he chunky? I was like, nah, Boogie Cousins is in shape. And a motivated Boogie Cousins can be a problem, particularly if he and Wall can stay healthy, because they did play together at Kentucky. And then if you get, I think Harden gonna probably eventually see the writing on the wall. He has been to practice, and he's been talking to the coach now. He's just soaking. I told you, he's a big kid. And unfortunately, the rest of the teams that he wants to go to, as you mentioned earlier, Boomer, they don't want to give up any real valuable assets for him. And Houston knows the right thing. Black Door, they might have heard you. They are listening to the point that you just don't give away a quality asset. And I said it before. Once you got rid of one, which was Westbrook, there's no way in hell that you, even though you got John Wall, that you give the other up just because. You just can't. It's only going to be one or the other. And the first domino to fall was Westbrook. Now it's like, I mean, Harden can say whatever. He go to the strip clubs. He can hang out in Las Vegas. But at the end of the day, Harden still needs his check. And he ain't crazy. And that's why he kind of sliding in there, sulking a little bit, if you will, and coming to get his money because he still need to get paid. He has a very large, luxurious lifestyle, and that requires money.
What's the over under that Wall and Boogie don't go upside Harden head before the All-Star break.
Hey, you know that. Look, you can take bets on that. That's probably happening in the preseason. You probably don't want to go in the locker room. The two of them together? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is my squad. Oh shit! Coach, shut up! Shut up!
Fighting on the sideline, on the bench.
Hey, they gonna handle that. You think I came all the way down here? You don't want to play? Yeah, it's over there.
Old school.
Hey man, cut that camera off.
Old school. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
You know, Boogie Cousins got a problem.
Yeah, he got
not because he ain't healthy.
a problem. He could be a problem.
We're gonna walk out the court with Harden's contract in his hand. You see this?
You know, they asked Boogie Cousins in one of his interviews as to how do you think you'll handle this adversity? He said, "You think this is adversity?" He said, "My mama worked 2 jobs. It was 6 of us by herself.
Wow.
That's adversity. And I get paid to do this. This ain't no adversity. I'm used to this." He said, "I was made for this. I was born for this." He's like, "You think getting paid millions of dollars to play basketball is adversity? You need to come to my house when I was growing up." And I was like, that let me know everything I need to know about that. He said, "My mama worked 2 jobs."
Because he didn't know whether or not he was going to come back and play.
Yeah, but his one point is that he's so used to adversity being part of his life for so long that he is learned to rise up. And that's what he does for the motivation. Like he said, y'all think, he said, my job is easy. He said, I look at my mother, my God. He said, my mother, man. He said, y'all think I'm playing around and joking? He said, nah, man, I see this for what it really is. When you really listen to him, and even on that interview, he was just so straightforward with it that, the guy is on focus, he's focused, and he says, hey, I'm ready. If I can do it, I'm coming back and I'm going to play hard.
All right. Black, why you mad, son?
Woo! I don't really have other. I think I gave it already, bro.
Yeah, you gave it earlier.
Yeah, I did. We wasn't there yet, but yeah, that was my mad moment right there, man. Because I don't know if anything else is going to equate to that, because that's just it right there. That's it.
Why you mad, Ice?
Man, I was mad earlier last week about the college football thing. Everybody saying that. The other part, I guess the only thing that would bother me is when I'm mad would be, I think about boxing, and we talked about this before. We talked about this on our boxing show, real boxing talk, and it's this: all the boxing fans want to see great fights. They have for years, always have, and whatnot. They want to see the best fights. Everybody complained about Mayweather and Pacquiao. It took too long to happen, right? Talk about the promoters. Now everybody wants to see Errol Spence Jr. versus Crawford, right? So, and then they go back and forth about the promoters or anything like that too. I'm gonna go right to the source. These professional boxers, everybody knows this. If you really want to fight a guy, go to him. The only reason why Mayweather fought Pacquiao is because he went directly to him at a professional basketball game, pulled him to the side, went to a suite, talked about it, got it done. I'm not trying to make this guy a hero or anything like that. But my point to this is the boxing promoters work for you. For you. That's Bob Arum, 89-year-old self, PBC, Al Heyman. They work for the fighters. At some point, if you really want something and you want to have them step out of your way so you can really make your true payday, you have to call your shot. I don't care what they say. They can say what they want to. You have to call your shot. If you really want to fight a guy, they need to find a way to get it done. Everybody's talking about Crawford and the issue. His contract is going to be up here soon, I think next year with Arum. Arum might talk a lot of junk saying he's this and that, and he's losing money on Crawford. But the one thing Bob Arum at 89 or 88 years old does not want to do is lose Crawford. He lost one guy. His name was Floyd Mayweather. He's never made up the money since. He also had a guy by the name of Ali.
Yeah.
And so he does not want to lose his top-notch fighters. So box, if you want to fight somebody, make it happen. Go directly to the promoter and say who you want. And then they will get out the way, or they risk losing you.
Yeah. I'm going to start off questions with the squad with a question of my own on this segment. What do you think about, in order to make these fights happen, that boxing adopts a tournament style where you get the top fighters, the top 16 fighters, and you just fight in a tournament, and then you just run that tournament till you get to the champion? Because it just seems like, and then other fighters who don't win get to fight the other fighters that lose to get back into that another tournament to come in and fight for a championship. Thoughts, Ice?
I like that, but I think it should be where the champions or maybe the top 4 are removed from that tournament because of the factor that they've already won. You're at a certain hierarchy or level, and you go below that, and then you mix up the numbers. A perfect example, they had that type of tournament with the middleweights years ago, and they had all these they had the tournament mixed up, and that's nobody ever knew the name Andre Ward except for the Olympics. Right. He comes out, he was the lowest seed in that tournament, and when he made it out the tournament, when he won that tournament, the rest was history. But I think you should. So you go, if it's 4 champions, then after that, you just start going down the line. 2 versus 8 or 9 or 7, whatever the numbers run, and have them fight. The other reason why I say that too is because while you're having these championship fights, if you want to build some intrigue and get people back in boxing, start having these tournaments which serve as your undercard of your main events, right?
Right.
Because they have been wasting the undercards for years. Give me something that makes it worthwhile. So a guy knows if I'm the number 8 slot, I go in there and beat this guy, I got a shot at the title. Don't just say all over things that are overmatched, and then you keep showing them on free Fox TV, or you looking for fights to show on the damn zone because you lost Canelo now. You use that to your ability where it makes sense, where people draw people in to see good fights. And right now with the COVID, you better do something, because if they don't, they're going to be in trouble. But ask the zone.
Yeah. Black, what are your thoughts about that? A boxing tournament?
I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea. I just look at boxing in general, bro. In that where boxing is squeezing the orange just to get as much juice out of it as it can, and they don't care about nothing else. They just don't. When you can have, and I don't know how true this is, but someone was saying this to me today. The Mayweather exhibition. The key word there is exhibition. Mm-hmm. Why would a champion come back and fight a U2 fighter? I tell you why. To generate money from pay-per-view. And that's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. They say Mayweather's going to get $5 million. I don't know if that's correct or not. To come back and fight a U2 fighter. He's getting $200,000. Come on, bro. So you tell me where they think that boxing is viable other than making $1 in a sense. It doesn't. They don't care. They've given up caring about the integrity of boxing a long time ago. They don't care. They just don't. Anything they can throw out real quick and real fast where pay-per-view will make them a fast hit is what they're doing. And to me, when you have all these different divisions, it should be, this is it. This is who top, this is coming up. You either beat or you don't beat. You fight, you don't fight, take away your belt the next amount of days. Until you go back and revamp that style of boxing, all of it is just a bunch of ideas, bro, because they don't care. They can fight every 2 to 3 months and make several million. They just don't care. They don't care. And it's sad because you have people that really want to be into boxing and they're desperate enough to pay it, hoping they're going to see something, and they still rob you. So good idea, but that's boxing.
Yeah.
That's boxing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Ice, your first question.
Woo! My first question is, do you think, I don't even want to ask because I want to put it into the atmosphere, but I'm going to put it in there after they mentioned that the women's tournament would be in the bubble. Do you think that the college basketball, men's college basketball, is going to make it through a full season?
Black?
Yeah, I think so. I think they are. I think they're determined to. I think whatever it takes to make it, and even if they're down to 10 teams, they're determined. because of the money that was lost last year, bro. CBS and TNT and TBS, you know, I'm sure they had to renegotiate some things and they wanted money back, whatever the case may be. It's too much money at stake, bro. They're going to roll the ball out. Somebody's playing. Gonzaga might be playing Hill House High School for that matter. Somebody playing. There's too much money at stake, bro. It's just too much. Like I said, with this cat falling, they're treating it like it didn't even happen. Like it didn't even happen. Because the eye is on, they want to get to March, they want to get to the madness, and that's when the big dollars come in. So, yes.
I don't think so. I know y'all gonna call me a Debbie Downer, but I don't think we're gonna make
No, you.
I don't think we're gonna make it to the end of the season, man, because we're not even in the full swing of winter yet, and I just can't see it. And maybe because I'm still, you know, suffering from the trauma of not having March Madness last year, that I'm not seeing it. I just can't see it with all these, and there are a number of games in basketball that are being postponed, like the DePaul. DePaul hasn't even gotten a court yet. DePaul basketball men's, they haven't even gotten a court yet because all the games keep getting postponed. So as the winter kind of keeps going, I know the vaccine is out and all that other stuff, but I'm not too optimistic about the season powering through and getting into a championship. Ice, what are your thoughts?
At first, I didn't know, and then I started seeing more cases, more games getting canceled. So I was kind of following your lead. I was like, maybe they won't make it through. And I was like, well, maybe Puma right. I hope he's not, but maybe he's right. But then something happened. They dropped off that vaccine, bro. Hey, I know, because that's all that was on TV today here in Columbus, Ohio.
Sure.
They dropped off the vaccine, bro. And one thing I do know, money talks, BS walks. You know with these high-end athletes, they already test them in football every day. Don't you think they're going to start sharing, once they find out this vaccine is pretty much stable, if that's what you want to call it, they're going to start plugging people in so they can be superhuman and be immune from this stuff so they can get out there and make that money and have March or April or May or June madness. They're going to do it. I'm trying to tell you, bro. The vaccine is here, baby. The vaccine is here. They're going to pump up in these super athletes. Get them ready for the show, because you cannot any longer. They have $1 billion investments that have to have somebody playing. No disrespect to the young man that fell out, but we already done covered that. You know what it is. It's all about that mucho dinero, bro. Trying to tell you, they got to have it. And that's why Coach K don't want to play now, because he knows his team ain't no damn good right now.
Yeah. I had a dream about this the other day, man, and I know y'all going to laugh about it, but I had a dream that the vaccines actually turn people to zombies. And I watched a lot of these sci-fi movies, man, and then the side effect, it started in England because that was the first vaccine, and I got swords and machetes and all that stuff. I'm gonna be fighting zombies pretty soon. The after effects of this vaccine, man. No, I shouldn't be putting that out there and rumors out there because a lot of people don't want to take the vaccine anyway. But I had a dream about that. I'm like, wow, what if these vaccines do turn people into zombies? Black, what's your question, man?
I'm afraid that the Clippers have basically harmed their franchise for the future, bro. Where they'll no longer be relevant. With one signing, the extension of Paul George for 4 years to that type of money. And when you realize that they don't have any more draft picks for the next 3-4 years, and Kawhi Leonard can leave after this next year, he can take off and go. So the question becomes, have they done themselves a disservice in chasing Kawhi Leonard and Paul George for the future of the franchise of the LA Clippers?
Ice?
You would do that, wouldn't you? I don't think they did a disservice by chasing Kawhi Leonard, because everybody wanted Kawhi Leonard. They could have him because he can play. The Paul George re-signing, I don't know. I mean, I could say perhaps, but he's going to have to come and play. That's the other thing, too. You got to put him in a place. You know, everybody, he has the money like he's the one. Whom you talk about this all the time, like he's a top player. He's not. He's always been the associate. He's been the guy that's the partner. So I think what they have to do, if they really want to be successful this year, Kawhi Leonard has to go, yo, man, I appreciate you being right there, but you're not the dude. You're not the dude. That's the only way they're going to win. I mean, when you put him in a position, it's like, no disrespect. And I get off this real quick. The Cincinnati Bengals used to have 2 wide receivers. One name was Darnay Scott. Other guy name was Carl Pickens. Carl Pickens was always the #1 receiver. Darnell didn't want anything. Darnay Scott didn't want anything to do with it. Some people are 1s, some people are 2s. But if you let a guy think he's a 1, that's on you. So we'll see. I wanted to see with Tyronn Lue being the coach, if that makes a difference. But we'll see if they're going to try to make that 2 or 1.
Man, basically what I want to say to Kawhi Leonard, come on back to San Antonio, bro. Come on back to San Antonio. Come on back to where you belong, man. I thought that was a big mistake. I can't believe, and I can't believe because maybe the owner doesn't know that much about basketball. Maybe he's just going on relationships he has with his players. Because if you sat there and saw what he did in the playoffs, and you still willing to give him an extension? If you see, let's go back. You saw what he did at OKC. Let's go back even further. Saw what he did at Indiana. You can't justify it. Maybe you just got the money to burn, but I can't see you justifying paying him that much money, knowing that he's not going to be the guy. And then you don't have any draft. I didn't know that at Black. You don't have any draft picks to build your team?
Yeah, no.
So, so you always think, when you think about the Clippers, that they're always coming, and they'll be that team in LA, that with Lob City, when they had, they had the group, the squad, couldn't get it done there. Last year, couldn't get it done. I don't see them getting it done this year, or in the 4 years that Paul George has his contract. I just don't. Black, what do you think?
I think they did themselves a disservice. And the reason why I say this is that they allow their pursuit of Kawhi Leonard to overtake them and basically mortgage away their franchise for the future, bro. I think they gave like 4 or 5 draft picks. And Kawhi Leonard, they didn't want Paul George. Kawhi Leonard wanted Paul George.
Right.
And for some reason, they thought them two, they looked at what LeBron was doing, and they thought if they teamed them together, it's going to bring you a championship. And I'll say something that my grandmother always said: if it ain't in you, it ain't in you. And it's not in Paul George. You could pay him $3 billion, bro. Paul George has shown you it's not in him. He's shown you your own uniform is not in him. So I think what they're thinking now, and the thing about the owner, he hired, remember the guy, I think his name was Leonard or whatever. It was a short white guy. Lost his hair. He used to coach the Nets years ago. He made him a general manager, who's not a general manager, by the way. But you made him a general manager, and that's part of your problem. Realistically, at some point, you should have brought Jerry West in and let Jerry West just run the team. That's what you should have did from the start, my personal opinion. But anyway, going back to say what I really wanted to say, now you're signing him to this extension thinking because this is what Kawhi Leonard wants. But keep in mind, like I said, Kawhi Leonard's under contract for 1 more year. So you want me to tell me, as much as Kawhi Leonard wants to play in California, he said that to get to California. If they don't make it this year to the final, what do you think Kawhi Leonard's going to do? You think he's upping? Kawhi Leonard's on a roller skate out of LA. Now you're stuck with Paul George with a max contract, no draft picks, none. What's going to happen to your franchise, bro? And at the same time, the teams around you are getting better. They're improving. And you're going like this, they're going like this. So really the pursuit, and I love Kawhi Leonard, but he doesn't guarantee a championship. And Kawhi Leonard, I said it back then, should have kept his ass in Toronto. That's where he should have stayed. California, you come there and retire, bro, in a couple of years. But the pursuit of Kawhi Leonard has damaged the LA Clippers for a long period of time. And we'll see it. In the next 5 to 10 years, you'll see, has damaged that franchise. There's no way you give up 4 to 5 draft picks, number ones, for Paul George. Then you turn around and resign him to the max extension for what he gave you in the playoffs. And then he talks about everybody like he did nothing wrong.
Right.
Oh, Doc didn't use me this way. We didn't gel as a team. No, you stuck up the field, bro. I mean, stuck up the court. At what time he even says take any responsibility? But this is your wagon to. Kawhi Leonard's out there as fast as you go. I'm going to predict this about Kawhi Leonard this season. He's not going to play 50% of this basketball season coming up. He's not playing.
Load management?
Yes, load management. Oh, he's going to take that to 11, bro. Kawhi Leonard's not playing. He's not playing. He will not play. He will show up if they make it to the playoffs. And he's moving out of there. And he's moving out, bro. That's my prediction. They're done. The Clippers are basically done.
Wow. Black won't do Why You Mad, Son during the segment, but he always does it. Last second shot, Ice.
Yeah, sticking with the NBA, when you look at teams, there are a lot of teams people going to be looking at saying this is Philadelphia right now with, are they going to be okay with Doc Rivers? You're going to look at did Milwaukee do enough to make some moves? Is Golden State going to try to make a little move back? But the one thing I'm going to say is watch the Indiana Pacers. And the Indiana Pacers had everybody saying that Victor Oladipo wanted to leave because this is his last year. He could be a free agent next year. Everybody was coming, thinking they were going to trade him. Victor Oladipo said, I didn't say nothing like that. I always wanted to be in Indiana and I want to play. And I think the reason why people were saying that is because if you have a healthy Victor Oladipo, you add Miles Turner, Brogdon, Sabonis, and one of the Holidays healthy, they could be very dangerous. They were dangerous in the bubble, and everybody healthy, they could be a very dangerous team in the East. So I'm glad that the Pacers front office did not jump on the takers and trying to trade everybody away. At least give them a year to see what they can do. And yeah, you might want to watch out because Lord knows you get a healthy Victor Oladipo, somebody's in trouble.
All right, good shot. Black Thor, your shot.
Yeah, my shot has to be the young man falling flat on his face, man. I think anyone that's pounding and thinking about college sports need to look at that and start to understand what college sport really represents. Watch him fall flat on his face. Just watch it. Just watch him walk out full of life, energy, young, exuberant, happy, smiling. And out of nowhere, he falls like a tree in the woods. Bang. And they think enough of his life not to tell you what's really going on with him. Should speak volumes.
I recommend a great article that Ice Water recommended to me about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and WebMD, talking about the health of Black people and really kind of bringing it with facts and research and all this other stuff. I highly recommend that article. It's called Black Lives Matter. Our lives are at risk. The healthcare system and everyday individuals have to do a better job in protecting us, by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So great article. I didn't realize that he was 73 years old, and being that tall brings its own personal medical conditions. And with COVID and being that tall, with heart, prostate cancer, all the different ailments that he has been suffering with for the last few years. Didn't know that, but I thought it was one hell of an article. Kudos to him. That's our show. Make sure you stay in for overtime because I'm pretty sure the guys have something to say in overtime. But we'll come back Wednesday for the picks, and you see the big old smile that Black Thor has.
Run the ball, Cleveland. Run the ball.
Because Baltimore just went up another 7 points before halftime. So
Baltimore's winning now?
It's 21-14 with 30 seconds left.
Remove that smile, bro.
Halftime. Yeah.
Run the ball, Cleveland. Just run the ball, baby.
Oh, Baker just throwing. He's happy. He just throwing.
He's trying to prove something to Lamar. Run the damn ball.
We'll see you Wednesday on week 15 of the NFL Picks.
Pops.
the ball.
Hey, did you choose Cleveland?
Black chose Cleveland.
Yes. It's not Garoppolo, baby. There we go.
Oh boy went down, didn't he? Miles? He had arm injury?
Yeah, he got hurt. I think he's on the sideline. I'm not sure if he's coming back.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Come on, Lamar. Run to that side.
Wow.
Yeah, they gotta win. Ravens gotta win this game to be in contention. They got
Yeah, they need this one. They need it.
Black Thor need this one too.
Yeah. To be honest, I was really busy trying to finish up the semester and doing work here. So I really didn't get to. I didn't even watch the Bears. Didn't listen to them anything. The only game that I really got to see was Pittsburgh. While I was talking on a Zoom call and just peeking at the TV. But this week I kept looking at the scores like this can't be. This can't be. This can't be. It was like, wow.
The sad thing about that Chicago game, I don't know what Houston was doing yesterday, but the sad thing about the Chicago game, they're going to think they're better than what they are, bro.
Yeah, they always do.
Yeah, they're going to think they're better. They're going to come back next year with that same quarterback. Chicago got a clean house, bro, top to bottom. I know they're not thinking that, but they got a clean house. I mean, because Houston is just basically floating along. That's not even when you want to pump your chest out and get happy about. I know they will, but you got a clean house, bro. And that top to bottom, that team's got to go some radical changes.
And Green Bay is at the top of the NFC, man. And they're not.
Yeah, Green Bay's waiting to be punked, and they will get punked in the playoffs. They won't get punked until then, but they will.
Yeah. So the strongest team are in the AFC right now because I can't see an NFC team,
bro,
coming in and winning the Super Bowl.
If Kansas City doesn't get injured throughout the rest of the season, they're repeating. Who's beating Kansas City in 4 straight quarters, bro?
Yeah,
I just don't see it. I mean, I would say Tennessee has the best opportunity, but they don't show up all for 4 quarters. They just don't. And you got to play a solid game of defense and score.
Here comes the INT. Hail Mary.
You know what's funny? They were talking, I guess, if you were Cleveland, would you basically sign Baker Mayfield to an extension after next year?
No.
No,
I wouldn't either. Yeah, I can't see. I mean, it's so funny. The guy, he ran to the goalpost. The guy that drafted him is no longer there. You got to let him walk out the door, bro. He's not worth the money. He has done nothing to prove to you that he's going to get any better. He's just not it.
But I bet you they do re-sign him now.
Yeah.
probably.
Because he got star power.
Based on the TV commercials, yeah, they will.
He makes them.
All these commercials funny as hell.
Yeah,
they're good. They are good. I'm not gonna knock them.
I make commercials.
Yeah, I mean, he got the
insurance company.
Yeah, he got that flavor. That from the insurance company. I mean, the commercial.
Aggressive, yeah.
But that don't transform over to the football field.
No.
That's if it did, he'd be right there. He'd be a champion. But you guys mentioned about Kansas City. When you watch them play, I watched them yesterday, and the one thing that I saw was, man, they put a plan in place. Like you said, we talking about why ain't they running the young guy? Oh no, they giving Le'Veon Bell them touches to get him ready, and they bringing the young guy in the spelling. They getting Sammy Watkins reacclimated. They are literally putting together a plan. So when they get to the playoffs, they just gonna say, okay, well now that ain't working. Let's change this up. That's Eric Bieniemy getting that thing done, pushing it up, getting all these weapons ready to go. They're gonna be hell on wheels, man.
He's a mad scientist, bro.
Yeah. Cause you can tell everybody like, well, why ain't they playing this? Like, nah, we trying to get everybody up to par. So he has all these different options. So when the playoffs come, you don't know what the hell he's doing. He's something else, man.
I think I sent you guys the article. I meant to if I didn't send it to you. Arthur Blank wants Eric Bieniemy as his head coach. I'm surprised he came out and said it. Now, I don't know if he wants to do Atlanta, but he's saying that's what he wants.
Well, he got the money, and it's Atlanta. But the question is, I mean, you're gonna have to move on from Matty Ice.
Yeah.
You got to move on from that because that ain't, you know. You got to get you another quarterback unless you make a trade and pull up and talk to Jacksonville and finagle that thing out from Jacksonville and go and get you a Justin Fields or something like that.
I see Baker going to Atlanta.
Ugh.
You see Baker Mayfield?
Yeah.
What?
Who's Matty Ice? I can see him in Atlanta.
Which not would be enemy as a coach, you ain't?
No, not be enemy. No, I wouldn't.
look. Not would be enemy to coach. You like, hell no.
Atlanta will pick him up. If Cleveland release Baker, Atlanta will pick him up. But not would be enemy. But not would be enemy though.
Then I would be enemy because Arthur Blank, he gonna be like, who you want? So I want that young boy Justin Fields. I want somebody that can run and can move. That's what they need. Every enemy needs a mobile quarterback.
Yeah, it's proven. He needs that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, this is going to sound strange to say again. If Cleveland don't sign him the following year, he may not be in the league, bro.
Somebody will pick him up, bro. I'll do somebody pick him up.
No, bro. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, even this year, Cleveland's winning on the strength of their running game. And that's why I don't know why they're trying this head coach is trying to allow Baker to try to prove something. Run the ball. Just run it. And he just hasn't proved anything. And no, he's all brash, but no show, man. I don't know.
Baker's a Bears type of quarterback that they pick up.
That's a team they can go to.
Yeah.
You're right, Chicago.
Pick him up.
But see, the problem now with
Jets.
The problem now with a lot of these quarterbacks is that the quarterbacks now are coming out of college. Some of them, they're ready to go. So it's like you have less and less places to go. Now, that's where Cam ran into trouble. I mean, his skill has just started descending, but when you got Burrows, these cats coming out and they lighten it up. For less money.
Yeah.
But you know, I think part of it too is when you talk about Baker Mayfield, we all remember when Baker Mayfield, when they were holding off and they put in our buddy Tyrod Taylor, and then they took him off the field and they put Baker in there and he moved the team a little bit and everybody got all excited. They got so excited they moved the quarterback's coach to the head coach. But the one thing that is different, a lot of people don't understand, they're trying to get this better now with Stefanski from Minnesota as the coach, is this. When they upgraded the wide receiver position, Baker Mayfield struggled. He was great when he was with guys that so-called may not be on that same level, but when you brought in your boy OBJ, you brought in Jarvis Landry, you brought in a couple tight ends, the more, and then you bring in from Kansas City, is it Hunt?
Yeah.
Yeah, you bring in Hunt. It's almost as if things got worse for Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
and if you're
I can see that.
Yeah, but if you're the quarterback that everybody say you are, you should welcome the talent.
Yeah, they gave it to him.
Yeah, you should welcome the talent to go, man, hey, I got it now. Hell, we're going to the Super Bowl. I got this, I got that guy. You're not supposed to digress. You're not supposed to, not digress. You're not supposed to get worse. You are supposed to improve when you have more weapons, right? And the way it is right now, he's going the other way. He got great commercials, though. Like I said, he's funny as hell. Said, how much longer on that turkey? He said he'll get some bread. He go and do the thing, get some bread, keep him down.
Oh.
Whoever wrote that, that's funny as hell. He's funny, but that don't win no ball game.
No.
No, he could be another Tony Romo.
But he said, look, let me get some crescent rolls to keep tying them over.
Could be another Tony Romo.
Could be. Ain't no wrong with that. I tried to tell y'all before. Remember y'all came after me when I told y'all Tony Romo needed to go. Y'all like, he one of the best quarterbacks. No, the hell he ain't. He can't win. He can't win big games in Dallas. So as an announcer, I like him. I think he's doing his great job. I'm glad he's not thinking about coming back.
Oh, I want him back. Oh,
no, I know you do. I think he's doing a great service. I appreciate his work. I think he's a nice guy. Just don't bring your ass back to Dallas, the quarterback.
Tony Romo was fun to watch, boy. And if you're not a Dallas Cowboy fan, Tony was a riot to watch. Oh my God.
Yeah, it started with me when he mishandled the field goal.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was horrible always. It was downhill ever since then. That was a long time ago. And there's no way in hell.
I gotta admit, I felt sad for him that night. He messed up that fumble.
I had no sympathy.
And look, I was
laughing so much.
I was a major Cowboy supporter. I was like, he don't belong. He ain't ready. He is nowhere in hell getting in the ring of honor. No. I
know he did that temporarily as his job, but I think that was a mistake to have him in there at that crucial point. After bringing the team down the field, that was too much to ask for. Because your adrenaline, everything is going. It's just too much, man. I mean, looking back now.
Come on now. You the star. Danny White punted for 100 years when he became the starting quarterback. He didn't say, wait a minute, I can't punt now because I'm the starting quarterback. Do your damn job. You're supposed to be the man. They pay you the money. I don't want to hear that. Danny White was a better quarterback than he was. I don't want to hear that. And he punted.
He was. Danny White was better. Danny White was better. Danny White scared me.
I can't go there.
Danny White scared me.
No.
Yeah, he scared me.
Don't get me wrong.
Man, please.
Don't get me wrong. Tony's major problem to me. Tony moved the ball up and down the field. He was trying to be too much of Brett Favre, a gunslinger.
Yeah.
And that's his problem. Danny White was just, I don't know, bro. I don't see it.
Okay, so here's my thing. In Dallas, and I know you're a Giants fan, right? Or used to be, whatever. In Dallas, it's about winning. And Tony Romo never won anything. Never won anything. I will say this, and maybe Danny White was along for the ride. You say the same thing about Terry Bradshaw. He's along for the ride. Danny White at least made to the NFC Championship. You couldn't even, there's nothing, and Romo, as they say, is supposed to be a more talented and a better quarterback. There's a reason why. You can say Roger Staubach had all of the weapons, right? But before, when they would be down years, Staubach made them better. Romo never made them better.
No, I agree with that, but I'll say this. They neither one have like signature wins.
Sure.
But I don't think, here's the thing, and I'm a partial Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And here's where Terry Bradshaw gets a bad rap. Terry Bradshaw may not have the Dalton numbers. He may not, he had talented receivers, but Terry Bradshaw showed up at big moments, bro.
Big games, yeah.
Yeah, big games. Terry Bradshaw showed up. I mean, you look at some of those passes sometime in the Super Bowl, I'm like, he showed up, bro. For a team that was really made to run the ball, he showed up when it's time. And I think part of it too, man, because I know him and one team didn't get along, and they didn't talk after a while. Him and Chuck, I think it was Chuck. I can't think.
Chuck Noll.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I think Chuck Noll held Terry Bradshaw back.
Okay.
I think he did. I think Terry wanted to light it up more, but Chuck Noll was like, no, we're going to do this.
Terry was Brett Favre before Brett Favre.
Yes. Yeah, he was.
But you had them two all-pro wide receivers and stalwarts.
They just made it happen.
Did not hurt them at all. All I'm saying is Tony Romo was a decent quarterback. He was decent.
I'll give you that.
But all I'm saying to you is I could plug in Danny White and get the same damn results.
Danny White scared me, man. I'm serious.
I was scared of Tony Romo. I'm not going to lie. I was more scared of Tony Romo.
Right. Danny White, here's the thing. Tony Romo, here's my problem with the issue with Tony Romo. Danny White was serviceable, right? You put him in there, he do what he had to do, make plays, really don't try to turn the ball over, punt the hell out the ball. Tony Romo had all these accolades, the numbers, they're talking about how great he was, but when it got down to the nitty-gritty, in the fourth quarter,
he's going to give it up.
Damn turnover,
waiting for interception.
He's going to give it up.
He's going to give it up. Do it. And you're like, wait a minute, not this year. Well, we're going to be better next year. Don't worry about it. We're better next year. And next year, 6 years past,
he was going to give you an interception or two.
I'm telling you. He was in the crucial moments. In the crucial moments, he turned the ball over. And I ain't saying it was all his fault. It started with that damn mishandling of the snap. It started there and it went all the way down. It went all the way down. I'm just saying. Come on, man. Don't tell me. Look, Tony Romo. Dude, no. Look. All I'm saying, it went all. I'm just telling you, Danny White, at least I know what I'm getting out of Danny White. And I ain't had to pay him a bunch of money. Everybody want to talk about Tony Romo. They want to put Tony Romo up there with Aikman and stuff. But you're crazy as hell.
No,
and then they want to make Aikman. They tried to make Aikman as good as Staubach. Look at the numbers.
No.
Ain't no way in hell.
No.
Man.
I'm gonna tell you this. You take Aikman off the Cowboys, you wouldn't even heard about him.
Yeah.
To be honestly speaking. You take Aikman off the Cowboys, you would not have heard about him. Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin made him. He did things in moments. There's some moments he kind of stepped up, but overall, Troy Aikman was nothing to write home about. He was nothing.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, and that's why I say that when you have guys that are serviceable, they expect Tony Romo to do this, do that. Even when they got him some help, he just always found a way to collapse in big games. He just did. And it doesn't mean, it's a difference between being good and great, really. And it's not to say he's a bad guy, he's a bad quarterback. He was a good quarterback. But we're afraid to say something bad, like a guy's not great. Everybody can't be great. There's a lot of good quarterbacks.
He's far from being great.
Hey, Atlanta had a guy by the name of Steve Bartkowski. He was a good quarterback, but he had no offensive line. Same way with Archie Manning with New Orleans. He had no offensive line. He ran for his life, so everything he did was amazing. If you, I'm just saying, you got guys running for their life. And the one thing I say I like about Bradshaw, I don't think he's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, but Bradshaw was resilient. He didn't care. I remember the Cleveland game, Turkey Jones put him upside his head, damn near twisted his neck out of bounds, sent him out, and the man said, you know what? I'm coming back. I mean, he was one of the toughest SOBs in football.
Yeah.
I will give him that.
Yeah.
And with the Jack Ham and the Lamberts and the missing teeth and the mean Joe Green, he fit right in with all of them motherfuckers, bro. He was right in there. He fit right in with that team.
Oh.
He was, even despite Chuck Noll, he was a monster. He was like, I'm right here. I'm a good old country boy. I'm coming with it. And he, like you said, him and Chuck Noll clashed because they came from two different worlds.
Yeah.
Two different worlds, but they still won. And that's what you do. But you know, I mean, Tony Romo at some point, he never showed the leadership that I wanted from the Cowboys. And granted, they can do what they want to, say what they want to. They can give him a day, a Tony Romo day. They can put his little number up on the top of the stadium. Bro.
Day?
A Tony Romo day.
Put it on the same day when he fumbled that snap. Put it on the same day.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying, he ain't been right since then. And they were like, well, every year is something different. He gonna get better. It's like Garrett, the coach. He gonna get better. He gonna get better. No, he's not. Stop the bleeding. It's not gonna get better. Stop the bleeding, please.
Come on, Romo. Come on, Romo. Yeah, come on, Romo. Come on.
And every time you be like this, you hear Darius Bryant going, damn.
He had to change your heart. He said he's going to play now. He had to change your heart. He backed up a little bit.
He had to because he was insane. Thank goodness he had a coach that said, you know what? You feeling some kind of way. You want to play against the Cowboys. You need a moment, right? You really need a moment. You really need to stay with us. We can use you. So calm your little over-anxious behind down, right? Go home for a minute, take a second, smoke a joint, whatever you got to do. Get your mind right. Come back. Come back. I'm just saying. Because he was, and they're like, I was like, chill out, man. Chill out.
Yeah, you reacted too quickly, man. That was right, man. Because, bro.
Don't worry. I quit.
Yeah, it's like the Ravens owe you anything, man. They're doing you a favor, bro.
Yeah,
they're doing you a favor.
He got to come back and apologize to everybody. I'm sorry. I just had a moment, man. I thought I was going to lose my job. I lost my mama's house, mortgage due, everybody, all that, man. He got too much pressure on him. Taking care of Bebe's kids and his kids and his mistress' kids, everybody. And then that Cobra is on his back because he ain't worked in a long time. Told you about that.
Christmas is coming.
I'm going, man. You knew Cobra was going to make this coming.
Hey, you better stay where you at, brother. You got insurance now. You covered. You know what? A family of four Cobra Call.
That Cobra snake always making it to the
Same
conversation.
one.
Hey, y'all laughing. Hey, y'all know y'all re-upping on that re-enrollment. You better you want to go on Cobra, boys. I try to tell you. Y'all think that's real.
Get that Cobra.
Hey. And then you know what? He come back begging now because he went home and somebody in his family was like, "You dumb fool! You know you don't want to pay that damn Cobra." Oh, my bad. You're right. You got insurance with the NFL, boy.
Oh man. Oh.
The big joke, the running joke around here was, Dez caught something.
Oh wow.
I always said the catch. That wasn't. He's like, no, he caught that. He caught the corona. I have to say, man, I thoroughly enjoyed the part I listened to in the show last night. I didn't want to disturb that flow you guys had last night, the conversation you were having. That's what's
man.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I was ready to clue you in, and I saw your text.
Yeah, I said no, don't stop it. Keep flowing. I'd only mess it up.
How about that, bro? When you see somebody, I think that we talked about that too. When you see someone's doing well, and you appreciate the work that they do, then if you don't let them know or you don't tell other people about it, then who will? You know, and I think that's why you have people in your circle. Seriously, you have to acknowledge people. You have to let them know, hey, man, I think that's dynamite what you're doing. And don't be afraid. Well, maybe somebody else will say it, you know. Hell, with nothing's guaranteed in this life, and we don't know how long we're going to be on this earth. So why would you wait to give people their flowers and let them know and tell other people about it? It doesn't hurt. It doesn't cost you anything. I mean, that whole situation didn't cost a dime.
I've seen it in other cultures also, but not like in our culture, man. Not like in our culture.
Bro. You're the nail.
I've seen it in all different cultures.
Yes,
not like us.
Nail. Yeah.
Like us. We try to stop on you.
We're doing, you know, but the real thing is though, on the real tip, which is, I mean, it really just, it touches your heart. Like the simplicity of how that all came together.
Yeah.
And then once it came together, it was like wildfire. It was like wildfire. People had a great appreciation for it. I was like, man, that did my heart good. I was like, look, that's worth it right there. That is worth it to see a person who has talent, that's an artist, and that is a creative, to be able to receive some accolades from people that really enjoy what you do. Because there's a lot, whatever you do, whatever job you do, or whatever your profession is, you put a lot of hard work into it. It takes lots of hours. People that are truly dedicated to their crafts. And it's nice every once in a while for somebody to recognize you for doing a good job.
Yeah.
It just is. And I've always thought that. Man. So kudos, bro. You already know.
I'm appreciative. I'm really appreciative.
Yes, sir, man. Please. We go back, baby. 1856. You better ask somebody.
It's interesting that you say that, Poon, because that's what it really comes down to a lot when it comes down to us, man, is that we don't take time to promote and say good things about our own. And some of it's just jealousy. Like you always talk about the crabs in the barrel, and a lot of it's that, bro. It's like, even if we're not into what you're doing, we don't want to see you be successful at something. And it's nuts. And, you know, while you said that, man, it's triggered a thought in my head probably on the next show on Blk Men Talk. But, you know, do we really like Black people, or do we just say we like Black people? Because a lot of times our actions show we don't like each other. We just don't.
No.
We get in the way of each other all the time, bro. So, and you know, and like he's saying, that's how it should be. It should be heartfelt where you want to see someone succeed, something that they're blessed with, that they're doing it, and you get behind them. And the people that he opened you up to, they felt that. And that's what you probably experienced when you was doing the book club.
Do you guys often find out that the most hate you get is it within your own family?
I'm laughing.
I learned that.
I'm laughing because it's
I
funny.
learned a lot more about my family than I ever did, and it was not pretty to look at. It was just a few that you kind of got that venom and hate, and it's still there today.
Mm.
You know, still there today. It's like, wow. It's like you get it from the outside, you expect that.
Right.
So your own family, nah.
I'm gonna tell you on the real tip, and they're gonna be mad at me, but some of my family members I expected because they just jealous. Do something.
Yes,
Do something on your own.
Yeah.
I've always told them, I'm not mad at you. I want you to do well. Why are you mad at me? Because I'm trying to do something.
Yeah.
And then
that's what it is.
Then when you do well, they first one calling you talking about, you know what, you need to just go and why don't you hook me up with something? For what? Because I'm your blood? You know, I don't owe you anything. They hate me for that. I'm like, look, I don't care. I don't owe you anything. I love you, but I don't owe you anything. I had to work just like you did. Everybody has to work hard to literally to find out what you do, and you had to earn a living, and what you've earned in your life, that took time, and you had to put effort in it. So then all of a sudden, like, where's my lottery ticket? Really?
Man, I'm just saying, you know, this, I'm gonna drop that too on the show, but man, that is what Ice just said is key. Because if they're not doing anything, they're not motivated, they want you in that same seat beside them, bro. And if you're trying something, it's like they get mad because you're showing them up, you're showing the reflection of them, they ain't doing shit. And that's what bothers them. Because you're out there, why is he out there trying to act up and try to be somebody? But I'm not trying to be somebody. And that's what bothers them, bro. And it's like, you're right. You're not going to get encouragement. Don't even think about it. I mean, don't even look for it. Don't think about it. Because in the family circle, more than likely it's not going to happen. No. I mean, I'm sure we both got stories to tell, and I don't want to get too deep into that, but realistically, it's the truth, bro. And that it's sad. It's sad because that's where it really should come from. Your support and everything should emanate and start right there, but it doesn't. It just doesn't, bro. And no matter how successful you get, like I said, if they ain't getting a lottery ticket, they still ain't behind you. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled thinking that they down for you, because they're not. They're just not.
We need to be ashamed. All these folks, different groups that hate us, why are we hating each other? Because they hate us? Because they hate us? Is that why you hate people who look like you?
I'm going to tell you something real quick, bro. And I hate to kind of belabor the point, but I'm going to tell you something.
No, go.
When I was younger, and this is no lie, I got more support and encouragement from people that only look like me when I was trying to do things, bro. I'm going to tell you the truth. It is what it is. I had more doors open by them than our own would open for me, bro. So that's why sometimes I don't look at them, and I'm not saying they ain't bad, somehow not bad over there, but what I found about them, if they see you serious about what you're trying to do, they're going to work with you, bro. If you're serious about what you're trying to get and trying to maintain and have, and they can help you, and they sense that about you, they're willing. They're willing. I mean, it's just what it is, bro. I mean, that's what it is. You could talk to some of us in the same field you're trying to talk to, they shut down.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Shut down. Yeah. Like somebody pulled the plug out of them.
and they've done well. They've done well. But I will say, with those that there are exceptions, and those that are connected and really understand what's going on in our families, they will support you. But there are many others, like you said, they could be even in your own profession and have done well for their own, and they just kind of go like, I got mine, you should get yours, right? Good luck. Okay, well, you know, I'm used to that, so I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, interesting, man. Yeah. By the way, I didn't sign off on that, man, so you can't use it.
Yeah, we got the next show already planned, baby.
Oh yeah.